Curing PTSD Now, Part 1. This method breaks down how the mind creates PTSD by interpreting our fight-or-flight response system's capabilities with a new update. In order to better understand PTSD, we need to understand the fight-or-flight response. This is the same response we trigger when the new PTSD moment is being recorded. During this time, we normally happen to be scared of the consequences. The fight-or-flight response has been referenced with examples from prehistoric humans. In the time of the caveman, fight-or-flight is used to run from saber-toothed tigers. In today's society's fight-or-flight means you've missed the mark, and this lesson is going to last a while. Since saber-toothed tigers are extinct, each nation created a judicial system for their standards of conduct. When you feel the fight-or-flight response in today's world, it normally means you're going to have an experience to learn from. PTSD comes from many forms with endless lessons to learn and share from. Each lesson is unique, and many start with a fight-or-flight response. This is the moment when emotional fear becomes a part of the memory. During the fight-or-flight response, we gauge the possibility of fighting or running away. Immediately, our senses become enhanced. Our eyesight sharpens, our adrenaline rises, and our bodies can redirect blood flow to necessary organs to get away. During this time, your mind has been recording the whole event in perfect detail, while attaching the emotions felt during the experience within the memory. Each PTSD starts with a new understanding of the fight-or-flight response and the connection to our mind's ability of recording detailed moments. This may imply our bodies use the fight-or-flight response to ensure we remember learning lessons for our future survival. When removing the emotions from the memory, now knowing our fight-or-flight response records the whole experience. The fight-or-flight response is recording everything that happens, should you survive the moment, to someday recall the lessons for future survival. These emotions we feel when fight-or-flight is triggered can be generalized as fear itself, with fear being the feeling of uncertainty which overcomes our bodies during these moments, as fear amplifies this uncertain emotional state while your adrenaline rises. This creates the lasting memory of the emotional state being experienced. In some cases of triggered traumatic PTSD experiences, we relive the recorded emotions, which are currently labeled anxiety, rather than the experience of reliving the emotional state after revisiting a traumatic memory once more. Each traumatic experience has uncontrollable emotions of uncertainty attached to it, which become part of the recorded emotional memory for that experience. This is triggered when the memory returns and the emotions remain unattended or removed. Now knowing how we record traumatic experiences in multiple layers of detail. When we experience fight or flight response again, we now know the emotions will be included in the memories. Knowing the emotions are recorded by default, they can also be removed from the memory when acknowledged as unnecessary. Now we are left with the lesson that brought us to the fight-or-flight response in the first place. Like our ancestral caveman, we learn to avoid dangerous scenarios moving forward. Now that we have a better understanding that emotions are part of these memories, we can now attempt to interpret our experiences for their lessons, without the undesired emotional interference which is previously misunderstood. Depending on what traumatic experience happened, there will always be a lesson to learn from it. These are the lessons we pass on to our future generations, for them to learn from our shared detailed experiences. The mind is a vast oasis in need of constant updating. Explore and discover your mind. Dr. J.